but you have a calling in your heart to be vegan or to be raw, you've got to listen to your own heart. It's your duty. And it's placed there. That seed is in your heart for a reason, because you're a visionary.
What about people that say, if you go onto a raw vegan diet, you're going to get too skinny, you're not going to be able to build muscle or maintain muscle. Have you found this to be the case? And kind of how have you navigated that side of things?
Food is food. We just want to eat undenatured food so it retains all of the properties that Mother Nature needs us to have, namely enzymes, hormones, oxygen, phytochemicals that are undenatured. Denatured proteins, denatured and oxidized fats from cooking, denatured enzymes do not benefit us. So if we really want to provide our body with everything it needs to build muscle and be strong and healthy, we want to eat undenatured food. So I have a good physique. I work out. Muscle mass is one of my goals. And I do that because I eat a lot of calories. I focus on a macronutrient balance that works for my fitness goals and my constitution, which is namely a little bit higher fat, a little bit higher protein. I don't do a low fat raw vegan diet. I do a moderate fat, moderate protein raw vegan diet. I focus on nuts and seeds. I focus on chia, flax, and hemp. I work out hard at the gym. I lift weights for strength. So I focus on strength training. My body adapts to that because I force my body to adapt. And the best part is that I can eat less food and get more nutrition from it because I'm raw vegan. And I'm alkaline. So I recover from my workouts better. I don't accumulate acid waste from high protein diets. Like the industry standard fitness-based diet is that we need to eat 1 gram of animal-based protein per pound of body weight. That is a disaster waiting to happen. If we eat that much animal-based protein, we are going to be sick. And it might not show up right away. If we're young, if we're in our 20s, if we're in our 30s and we're working out at the gym, we might be able to get away with that for a while, but then our hair starts to fall out and we start to have joint problems. We get injuries at the gym. We're not looking so good. Our skin starts to not look so good, things like this. If we retain a raw food, undenatured diet with a focus on a good amount of proteins, carbs, and fats in our macro balance, we can maintain a fitness level lifestyle and a good physique for many years, longevity. And if we focus on strength, we strengthen the tendons and the ligaments and the joints. We can not only retain our muscle mass and build muscle mass as a raw vegan, but we can really have healthy joints and tissues well into old age because we're not suffering from acidosis and acid accumulation. So really, health should be the goal, not just looking like a fitness model. Of course, we all want to look good, but if we focus on the right fitness strategy with raw foods, we're going to naturally achieve a fitness level physique because we're doing the work, which is following a proper macro balance, staying raw and undenatured, and working out consistently at the gym. And that is how I get my physique. I'm 6'2" and about 195 pounds, pretty lean. My stomach is completely flat. I don't exactly like to be too lean and show abs because it's not very comfortable to show abs. I prefer to just be happy and healthy. But I'm probably 15% body fat and pretty muscular. And I'm strong in the gym. Most people wouldn't even know that I was raw vegan because I can outlift probably 80% of the guys in the gym because I've been doing it for a lot of years. And there's guys half my age that are lifting half as much weight and eating tons of animal products and protein powders. And here I am, raw food, eating salads and nuts and seeds and outlifting them by far. That's pretty incredible. That actually inspires me because what that means is I've learned the truth. And the truth is different than the mainstream narrative that is shoved down our throats. Mm-hmm. And the truth is the truth. The truth speaks for itself. The results speak for themselves. Also, myth is that you will just waste away if you eat raw food, that you'll continually lose body mass. This myth comes from the fact that when we detox, when we go through the transition to raw food, our body needs to shed weight. Body fat holds toxins. Tissues hold toxins. Our body has to shed a lot of mass and weight in the initial stage. I personally got very skinny and underweight in my first year or two of transitioning to a raw vegan diet. I'm 6'2". I got down to 150 pounds. I'm 195 pounds now. And that is because I had to detox. I went through a 40-day juice fast. I emptied about 25 pounds of waste matter out of my GI tract, which is huge. But I also got really skinny. So by the end of that, after like 2 years of transitioning, eating high fruit-based, low-fat raw vegan to heal my dermatitis, to transform my gut microbiome, I was 150 pounds. Yes, I lost body mass, but I noticed a very key thing. Gosh, I hope people can hear me on this, is that my body naturally started to rebuild at about the 2-year mark. That's when I actually became inspired. I was like, wait, I'm putting on body mass from my diet. Why don't I assist my body by going to the gym and lifting weights? And that's exactly what I did. And in 3 years, I've gone from 150 pounds after my detox transition to 195 pounds as of today. You can see my stomach is flat. You know, I got huge muscle mass because I've assisted my body's natural ability to hold and maintain mass now. But I had to go through a massive transition. So if somebody just looks at the first transitional steps of a raw vegan diet and says, oh, I'm losing muscle mass, I don't feel good, they're missing the whole opportunity. And so this is because people are impatient. They want instant gratification. They don't have vision. They don't hook into a real true vision of what they want for their life. For me, I was determined to be raw vegan. I didn't care if I withered away to nothing. I didn't care if my teeth fall out, my hair fell out, and I looked like crap the rest of my life. I actually didn't care. I surrendered that in my hero's journey. That was the part of myself that I let die, was upholding some version of how I had to look, how I had to be, who I had to be, and I let it all go. I was literally willing to lose my teeth, the fears, the muscle mass, all the fears of everything we're going to lose. Well, look at me now. The last time I went to the dentist, the hygienist said that I had the cleanest mouth she'd ever seen, and that people who come in regularly, like every 3 months for cleanings, don't have mouths as clean as mine. This is because I eat raw food. And so my fear of damaging my teeth was just a fear. My teeth went through a detox process. Actually, I had horribly sensitive teeth for like an entire year, horribly sensitive. And stains appeared on my teeth in the crevices. I had smoked for years, all through my 20s. And so I think it was a lot of this tobacco residues were in my teeth. They're porous, and the acids have to come out of our body when we detox. So that we have to shed a lot. And so I always encourage people who I coach, because people hire me for private mentoring and coaching in their personal transformations. And what I always coach people with is that they have to let go of the version of who they were. Let go, let it die, surrender it on the altar of who you're becoming, and do the detox process fully and surrender that fully before you ever even consider building or growing or maintaining. They're completely different processes. Do detox and do it all the way, and then switch to a building phase where you go to the gym and try to build muscle. And never the twain shall meet. We can't detox and build muscle at the same time. So if you start eating raw food and you're like, I'm going to eat raw food and go to the gym and be healthy like Shane, that's not how I did it. I detoxed heavy all the way, fully surrendered for 2 full years before I ever even touched a weight in the gym. And I believe that we have to give ourselves over fully to whatever we want to accomplish. And this is where our vision becomes critical. We have to be enrolled in who we're becoming. We have to be enrolled in the vision of what we are taking a stand for. And if we don't have a vision, we're going to be enrolled in someone else's vision. So we might start a raw vegan diet, and then, the carnivore people start enrolling us in their vision. And then we get enrolled in this vision and that vision and somebody else's thing and then somebody else's thing. And we say, there's all this conflicting information. Where's the truth? The truth is that you don't have a vision for your life, and you're going to be somebody else's pansy because of it. And you're going to parrot their narrative because you don't have your own narrative. So it's incredibly important that we commit to ourselves, commit to our vision, and become determined and enrolled in who we are and who we're becoming. And this speaks to your comment, Matt, about our own authority. We have to be our own authority. No one's going to come save us. No one's going to give us the answers. No one's going to be some guru who saves us and gives us the truth that we're looking for. The truth is within. We have access to the truth from within. But if we're listening to someone else's narrative, we're going to be distracted from our own inner whisper of truth. It's a very subtle energy that we have to connect to. And ultimately, raw food helps us to connect with that vision. So I believe it's imperative that we enroll ourselves in the vision of becoming raw vegan, forget about the details in the process of what it takes to accomplish that. Forget about what it takes. Enroll in the vision and hold on to that vision with all of your guts, you know?
Yeah. Yeah. Wow. That's powerful stuff. Did you experience any sort of social pushback or pressures from friends or family? And how would you suggest others that might be going through that, you know, kind of block out some of the chatter from other people?
Yeah, well, we have to save ourselves before we can save anyone else. If we truly love someone and we truly care about them, we have to do the best for ourselves. You know the analogy when you're on an airplane and they say, if the oxygen mask drops down in case of emergency, make sure you put it on yourself first before you put it on your child. That's an ultimate example of how we are the ones who are going to save ourselves. We have to prioritize our own self-love and self-care first and foremost. If we have people in our lives, friends, family, people close to us who are doubtful, naysayers, unsupportive, they don't know what your journey is or who you're becoming. We owe it to ourselves to become the best version of ourselves. We don't want to hold back because of them. There's a great analogy called the crab bucket. And I'm going to tell you this because it's kind of life-changing to hear this. The crab bucket analogy is there's a fisherman on the pier and a guy is walking by the fisherman and he's got a bucket of crabs there. And the guy says to the fisherman, you got to put a lid on the bucket of crabs because they're going to climb out. And the fisherman turns to the guy and says, no, I don't have to put a lid on the bucket of crabs because if one crab tries to climb out of that bucket, all the other crabs reach up and pull him back down in. And another way of saying that is misery loves company. We want to kind of be around other like-minded people. We want to fit in. We want to feel our tribe. We want to feel like a part of a community. It's very difficult psychologically to step out of that. But who are you committed to being is my question. Do you have a calling in your heart to be great, to be better, to do better, and to evolve our species? Are you called on a mission? If so, you owe it to yourself to step out of your comfort zone and let the parts of yourself that are uncomfortable with that shine. And you might outshine your mother or your father or your sister or your grandmother. You might outshine them. And that's okay because this is your destiny on this planet. To just play small and to fit in will be the saddest thing that ever happened to you. So you might as well not do that version. And really, it's facing our fears that is our own spiritual awakening. Like I said, spiritual awakening isn't feeling good. It's actually shedding light on our shadow. It's facing our worst fears. It's doing the difficult work. You want to have an easier life and a good, fulfilled life, do the hard work of personal development. If you want to have a really hard life, take the easy road now. Take the easy road today, and you'll find out you're going to end up with a really hard life. So doing the hard work now makes our life easy. Doing the shadow work, facing our fears now is how we fulfill our destiny. And specifically, speaking to men who aren't willing to face their fears, aren't willing to face the depths of their emotional despair and heartbreak, you especially need to face your fears. And this is why a lot of men resist veganism specifically, because when we go vegan, we have to feel our fears, the deepest existential fear of all existence, which is that we are sovereign beings. We really are spiritual beings and that we have a very high spiritual potential. And when we eat other beings and we murder them for food, we are playing really small. We're staying in the status quo. We're staying in a narrative that was passed on to us. We're not thinking for ourselves. We're not progressing the species. We're not doing the hard work. So men like to play small because men are, unfortunately, weak-minded a lot of the time. So the real work men have to do is face their fears. You want to be an example of masculinity, and true alpha masculinity is to face your fears and to make sure everyone is taken care of. That includes all sentient consciousness. Alpha masculine energy is a polarity to the feminine polarity that is present, grounded, capable, calm, collected, kind, compassionate, authentic, and shows up and make sure everyone is winning. That's the true alpha masculine, to make sure everyone is winning. If you want to be in your masculine polarity and a true divine masculine man in their alpha energy, you've got to make sure everyone is winning. And you do it silently, and you do it with true authenticity and compassion. That's leadership. And so men, to be in their leadership, have to face their fears and do this level of work. And women have their own level of work too. I'm a man in this lifetime, so I get to speak into that one. But all of us have to face our fears and step out of the narrative that's been handed to us. And so if it's comfortable to follow the family tradition, but you have a calling in your heart to be vegan or to be raw, you've got to listen to your own heart. It's your duty. And it's placed there. That seed is in your heart for a reason, because you're a visionary and you're someone who is needed on this awakening mission. So this is your hero's journey. And there's a mentor that shows up at some point to help usher you across the threshold of resistance and fear. And at some point, that mentor will show up for you, and pay attention to when that happens.